Hello and welcome to this meeting speech about the gene keys. I will start today some explanation of the gene keys for non-Italian speakers. Gene keys is a fantastic teaching that is coming to us as humanity through Richard Rad, who is this fantastic being living in the UK, who has been teaching and studying for a very long time human design first, and along with the I Ching, the Chinese wisdom book of the I Ching. And after many years, he has had an intuition, several intuition, and some, let's say, deep understanding that in fact these hexagrams of the I Ching, they are 64, they are actually a code that is explaining and containing what is kept in our and hidden in our DNA. So the whole work of the gene keys is really a way to unlock these codes in our DNA, and if we can unlock these codes, it means that we can express the highest part of ourselves. We can express what we are really here for, our genius, what we commonly call genius, okay? The highest expression of us as humans. I am absolutely fond of the gene keys, not only for the information they contain, but first of all for the transmission, because mainly the gene keys are an energetic transmission which speaks directly to our DNA, to our highest and hidden parts of our DNA. Every 5-6 days there is a transit, so let's say every 5-6 days there is a specific gene key that is influencing the field, okay? And right now there is the gene key 64, which is the last one of the 64 gene keys, which goes from the 4th to the 9th of September. And for each gene key, which are mainly basically archetypes, these gene keys, way of model of behaving, okay? For each gene key there are 3 keywords. One for the shadow, which the shadow, when we say shadow, we mean the thickest and heaviest part of this archetype. Then a word for the gift and a word for the Siddhi, which is the highest expression. So this key 64 goes from the shadow of confusion to the gift of imagination, and to the highest expression, to the Siddhi of illumination. And when we talk about the shadow, we basically mean a vibrational state. So if we constantly live in fear or anger, we constantly experience the shadow, okay? Which it doesn't mean that we cannot have some moments of fear or anger, but if we live in a permanent state of anger and fear, it means that we only experience that kind of reality, which is a very heavy reality, okay? So when we talk here about confusion, it really means this emotional mental state that we all know. And we can also actually say that it's the main state of the humanity nowadays. And what is important here to know, all the work that is behind the gene keys is really something very simple. It means that to change our vibratory state, we simply need to dare to go inside ourselves and observe and really, yes, observe these states, this heaviness, okay, whatever it is, and just allow this heaviness to exist inside us. And then the third step is to embrace. When we embrace this state, whatever it is, no matter how heavy and thick it is, then a miracle occurs. And from this heavy vibratory state, we will experience the growth of a gift. Okay, in this case, if we consider this confusion not as something we need to change or something we need to get rid of, but simply something that exists inside us and we don't want to change it, but simply accept, we will experience soon that from this raw material there will be a gift rising, the gift of imagination, which is basically the creative process. So whenever we recognize that there is some pain inside us and we allow this pain to exist, and we and instead of falling into the victim state, which is the common state of humanity, we decide to express, to give expression to this pain through a creative process, which can be any creative process, through dancing, writing, painting, anything. Right at that moment, we will experience that confusion becomes imagination, and on a higher level, even illumination. So this key is particularly interesting for people who were born in this range between the 4th and the 9th of September, because each one of us has his own personal, specific holographic profile, which is calculated with the hour, date, and place of birth, of course. So each one of us has their own archetypes, their own challenges and gifts. Okay, so people who are born in this time of the year, they have this challenge, so going from confusion to imagination as their life's work, which means that they are basically here to do that. And if they can really incarnate this process and really make it alive through them, it means that then they can bring this gift to the world. So it's really something really incredible and very simple, and at the same time a very high process. What I do here is I explain you a little bit how the process is. So in this case, from confusion through imagination and to the highest state, which is illumination. And I can also guide you to discover more about yourself, guiding you through the gifts and the challenges of your personal profile. Because, for instance, one thing is the key. So in this case, we are talking about key 64. But for each key, there is also a line. There are 6 lines, so from 1 to 6. And for instance, somebody having this gene key 64 with line 1 will be different from somebody having this gene key line 4, for instance, because each line gives a special meaning to the way we bring this work to the world. Okay, so whenever and if you need some guidance, you can simply contact me, and we will set a connection through Zoom and go through your profile together. Okay, so as you can see in this video, I also use these fantastic cards, which are called the Wisdom Keepers. They are representing the 64 gifts of the gene keys, and they've been created by Rosie Aronson, who is a fantastic artist living in the USA, and she has painted all these faces representing the 64 gifts of the keys. Each wisdom keeper brings also a gift to people who are listening, and in this case I just want to read you a few sentences about this wisdom keeper. She says, "I come to set your imagination free, but first you must bless your pain and confusion with the gift of your awareness." So very important, these words, blessing, to bless your pain and confusion. It really means to recognize that this is not something to get rid of, but it's something very, very precious. It's the raw material from which a little plant will grow, okay? A gift will grow. In the presence of confusion, there is nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to figure out. Confusion is a totally natural human state. It is actually holy ground. So taste it, embrace it, but don't try to change, interpret, or get rid of it. As soon as you remember that you are not your confusion, its true diamond nature will emerge from the coal. And your imagination will be released so that you can give expression to your pain and inner demons through a fulfilling process of creativity. Whether you are expressing with a paintbrush or a pen, be honest, courageous, illogical, and wild. Go where no one else has gone before, because let's remind this, whenever we start this creative process, we create something that did not exist before. So this is the real imagination, the real power of the creative process. Okay? So, as usual, as I do for the Italian public, I always finish my speech with a transmission of a little energetic work, a transmission that I do with life alignment. Life alignment is an energetic technique that I use in combination with the gene keys, very powerful to transform heaviness and also to connect with the opportunities, okay? So it can either transform or open to a new vision. So please just open to receive, and I will send you this energetic transmission with the intent of simply opening, helping you to open to the creative process, okay? Just receive. Okay, perfect. Thank you for listening. I hope I was clear enough. Of course, English is not my mother language. I am Italian, but I try to do my best to explain. And meet you soon for another Gene Key in a few days. Bye-bye.